disaster of a parent-teacher conference? Ready to indulge in those I wish I could say that moments? You're in luck, because you've just pressed play on the top-rated teacher comedy podcast on the planet. It's time for Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. Here's your host, the teacher comedian himself, Devin Siebold.
Hello, welcome to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. My name is Devin Siebold. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and also this will be thrown up on the streaming services for you to listen to. I got into podcasts the other day. I was on a Frontier flight, and they have absolutely nothing, so I went ahead and downloaded a bunch of podcasts. Listened to some pretty good ones, some old ones with Norm Macdonald, some comedy podcasts, some self-help podcasts, some social media podcasts. I always find it, hello Joseph, people online talking, I'll talk back to you, but I always find it interesting, man, because what I did notice is some people that have no experience in anything at all like to talk the most about the things that they want you to think they're good at. Bro, I looked up like social media help, like trying to get better followings and get my stuff out there more. And you go to these social media social help podcasts, and the first thing I do is I Google the person that hosts it, and there's a guy that runs a social media podcast going how to get Instagram followers, how to get the best engagement, how to this. Then you look him up on Instagram, the guy's got like 3,000 followers, and like all of his videos have 7 views, and you're like, why am I listening to you? It seems like the people that are successful don't want to pass it back down. And the people that aren't successful are the ones that want to act like they are in order to get more followers. So that was fun. And then, happy late birthday to Gregory. His birthday was this past Tuesday, and it was an exciting one. We spent it performing in the villages in Florida. That was fun, wasn't it?
Wow, that place, I'm telling you, man, I've never seen a place like this in my life.
It's cool, man. It's a neat, like, people don't realize, people think it's just where old people go to like just die, but
you see a lot of these retirement communities in Florida, where like, oh, it's gated 55 and up, but this is like almost a major city. Like 79,000 is their census, but the entertainment director was like, no, she goes, that's just the people living year round here.
Yeah,
she goes, when season's here, it's up to like over 100,000.
Right. Yeah.
And she goes, we have Tampa numbers as far as demographics. I'm like,
but man, they party, don't they? I mean, the whole town square every night was full of a band and dancing and beer and alcohol, and they have nice restaurants. To me, it is a 100 square mile cruise ship.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And like the Lido deck, and
that's what they do. I mean, they are out there partying and having a good time, and they came to the show to laugh and have fun, and it was a good show. The way back last night, I have to
shut up.
I have to.
Oh my God.
So Greg does a joke about how Florida leads the way in wrong way drivers.
Right.
And
in my defense,
night,
there weren't any. There's
no defense. Whatever. There's no defense on this. Greg made a left yesterday, and I was like, I think you should keep going. And he goes left and went right into wrong way traffic. We were staring at the headlights of some.
Well, I was staring at my GPS, and it kept jumping ahead. And there's this horrible signal out there. I'd be looking at it, and it'd be froze. And all of a sudden, bam! I'm jumped up, and I'm sitting there looking at it. And I remember this. It's bringing us back the way we came, because the first 2 nights we just took another route. This one took me back the way we came. And I was like, oh, there's the road. And I'm looking at the GPS, and I'm like, all right, I'll turn here. And when I saw the car parked the opposite direction, I was like, oh, this is odd. And then all these headlights were looking at me. I was like,
yeah,
I was kind of a deer in the headlights. I just pulled over like, oh, I got to make emergency stop.
I think the old people rubbed off on you.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, afterwards, we pulled over to the side, and he greased up the Bengay on his elbows to, nurse the pain and the tendinitis. Dude, but
I'd never seen so many golf carts in all of my life. It was like, It's
And
like,
some of those golf carts are worth more than your house.
yeah, dude, that one dude had like a 57 Chevy looking one.
Mhm.
And I was sitting there talking. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And this lady was out there talking. She goes, yeah, that's about a $42,000 golf cart. And I'm like,
42 grand on a golf cart.
I looked over at that lady and I said, ma'am, my Mustang will smoke that. And it's only probably worth like 21.
It better have air conditioning. I mean, honestly, I will not own a golf cart. If I'm paying 42 grand, it better have air conditioning. It better have a Hemi.
Right.
It better,
But-
I mean,
But we were doing 45 down the road.
They're
I
fast.
looked over and there was this golf cart on the little golf cart path,
yeah.
and he was zooming right next to us.
Yeah, if you take those on the golf
No
course too,
seatbelt.
you better keep up with pace.
Yeah.
Those people just, what was that?
Speaking,
Why are there people on the green? I was just about to hit.
yeah, speaking of golf, there's
Endless
like
golf.
100 golf courses up there.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
You know what I wonder? And I'll let you finish your statement, but I wonder this because, it's a podcast for teachers. Are there any schools in the villages?
I don't know.
Because it's technically 55 and up.
Right.
But, I know 55-year-olds that have kids that are school age, and I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, there's, my mom had kids really late in life, and, my sisters would have been, if she wanted to move, would have been of age to be in high school,
Right.
So is there a high school there, or I don't know.
And I'd like to learn more about the villages just because, you always hear the rumors and all the jokes. And we found out last night those are true,
Mhm.
About the loofah sponges on the back of your
Oh yeah,
car
there
and
was
stuff.
different color
Yeah.
loofahs on
And
people's carts.
and they mean different things, like I'm available, I swing, my husband is available. And, they're
Right.
really weird, but not everybody in the villages is like that. That's just a small, 20,000 people.
Oh yeah, it's just a small, just like half of them.
To explain the villages, like there's it's just a giant collection of gated communities, and they're all called villages, and they have 3 main squares. And we were at the square that's the main nautical kind of, gives you the seaside village kind of vibe. Then they have like a western vibe where it's,
I didn't know that. I haven't been to that one.
and the lady was telling me all about it. And then she said the other one is like a Spanish adobe style. They have a lot of Tex-Mex restaurants and stuff. And I'm like, cool. I was like, and we're eating Tex-Mex here, and it's weird because they have so much. We saw the houses. I don't even know what it cost to move in there, but the way the lady explained it to me, she said it literally is a Disneyland for adults.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. They love
It's
it.
like teenage.
Kate said no kids allowed in the villages, so
Yeah.
it's not exactly like Disneyland. But
Right. But here's the most interesting part I found
Mhm.
was that the villages, their HOA is ridiculous, and 55 and up. And I started talking to the lady, and she said, yeah, funny thing is, she goes, the people that developed this were just, they did a lot of research on what retirees wanted.
Right.
It is just catered to retire. It's like everybody we saw was like a teenager.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, it's like you get a second, but you better bring your pocketbook.
Yeah, it was funny because I had some fans come to the last show, and I immediately knew they were my fans because they were the only people under 65 in the crowd.
Right.
And I was like, hey, there they are. So yeah, and we did find, Kate said, from what I understand, you have to have scheduled time when grandkids can come to visit, so it's approved.
Yeah.
That's perfect for old people that live there because some of them, I'll be honest with you, some of them are a little bitter. A little bitter. I bet that the only thing is I bet that it's a awesome community to live in, experience wise. I think people wise, I would probably hate every person there because there's a lot of self entitled like boomers that are, think that that every little thing, needs to be reported. As much as they say it's a party town, I think any deviance from the norm, they are quick to single you out and get out of our community. And, I just think that it'd be like HOA on crack.
Yeah. Well, the
but
town
at all times.
The town is, it's, like I said, it's 79,000 people, and it's not a town in what you normally think. It's owned by a family.
Right.
They own all that.
Yeah.
Like
the complaints on next door have to be gold. If only they knew how to navigate that. I mentioned podcasts on stage and they stared at me. And I was like, yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, it was and you were explaining that too. Like before we even went on stage, you're like, there's two things in comedies. Like you can go do a show, do your normal set, and you will destroy. And then there's some shows
There's
where
work.
you work. And I definitely understand that concept
Yeah.
because the second day show was by far the best crowd and the smallest crowd.
And they were fun, but it wasn't work. The work, I worked on Monday and I worked on Wednesday. Tuesday, I didn't have to work. Tuesday, I just got up there and had fun. But some crowds make you earn it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you almost feel like a dancing monkey on the side car street, trying to get people entertained, and it turns into almost a vaudeville style act, and it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. But yeah, I'm a millennial, by the way. Somebody said I was a boomer. I'm not a boomer. I look like a boomer this morning because I've been exceedingly exhausted from driving back and forth the past 3 nights and then doing all the other stuff. I got a new video coming out today, and I have the worst schedule coming up in the entire world. I fly out Monday morning. Plane leaves at 6 a.m. for Sacramento. I have an 8-hour trip to Sacramento, and then I perform in Sacramento in the morning, and then that afternoon I fly out to Michigan. Then I'm in Michigan for Wednesday through Saturday, and then I fly to Chicago, and then I perform in Watseka, and then on Sunday, Watseka, Illinois, tickets on sale now, and then I fly back to Orlando. So it's literally 7 days of nonstop travel in different cities every single night, and it's going to be exhausting. So if you're in the area, definitely come see my show over in Michigan. I'm going to be with Adam for our tickets on sale, devoncomedy.com. And
everywhere you're going, you can eat gummy bears. You know that, right?
Yeah, I could, but
California, Denver, Michigan.
Like yeah, it's not like that. But and then I just performed at the Villages, so that was fun. And I've also been doing my TikToks. If you're on the TikToks, I like to do all the TikToks and stuff. Now, I think we should jump right into it because I've got some good topics that I know people are going to talk about. So let's jump right into the teachers in the news.
From classrooms to chaos, we searched high and low for the craziest teacher stories this week. Here are your teachers in the news.
All right. First one. This one, it frustrates me. So I get it, but I don't. Okay. So listen, this is one of those things where, okay. So I don't know how to preface this without being rude, but it's kind of rude. So sometimes we're kind of gullible as a group of people, and we see things and hear things and read things, and then we just kind of run with it. One of them is Broward Teachers Union warns of the upcoming TikTok challenge to slap a teacher. Yeah, so it says, watch your fellow educators back, the devious licks trend, which was them stealing items and vandalizing school bathrooms. So here's the thing. I don't know. And this is what I'm kind of getting at. And I hate this kind of stuff. I saw a post from an officer online, and it was like, hey, watch out for the new TikTok trends. This is what they are. This month is slap a teacher challenge. Next month is, egg a car. The next month is, and some of them I was laughing at because I'm like, one of them was like, diddle a janitor or something, like words that students would never use, things and stuff that it was clearly written by an adult.
Right.
Well, and it was plotted all the way out until, I don't know, next June, the entire rest of the school year. And I said, what is your source on this? He's like, TikTok. And I'm like, and I was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I want an actual video. Show me where a child says this is what we're supposed to do. And he didn't provide it. He did not provide the link. He didn't provide anything. He just says, I surf TikTok. I check it out. I do this. This kind of stuff is the stuff that is created online and shared by these people. And this guy, and I love, don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-cop, but this guy's an idiot. He's an idiot because he's sharing this stuff, and all the teachers were sharing it going, oh my God. And well, first off, none of the students are sharing it. None of the students. And even if this, and none of the students are sharing it. We're just sharing it amongst each other and getting scared for no reason whatsoever. And B, now you're giving them ideas. Like you're just giving them, handing them ideas that are happening. The students, with the Devious Licks challenge, that was a lot of peer pressure and stupidity. But then you start to create fear. This guy got so many likes and shares and follows off of creating this one thing, and it was entirely fake. You cannot show me proof of anything that man said because I looked for it. I literally go, yeah, he's making the issue himself, is what Kay said. It's true.
Right.
I went on TikTok and I went and I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked and I found nothing that this man was saying, because he's just creating a false, oh, you got to be scared. Follow me for updates.
Well,
whatever.
How about I find out his name and I start a trend saying, find this guy and slap him. That's the challenge this month.
As teachers, we just got to be more diligent, because there was thousands of shares on it and teachers going, oh my gosh, I'm so scared of next March.
Shit.
And I'm like, don't be scared of next March. These kids can't plan past their doorstep. What do you think? Why you think that this kid is going to be, I can't wait till March. Let's get ready. Let's make it happen. My students, I would sit in class and there'd be 4 or 5 students out and I'd go, oh, it's senior skip day. And my kids would go, what? It's senior skip day? I should have been skipping, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are terrible at coordinating things. They don't know which day is which. They don't even know what class. They can't. How many times have you had students walk by and literally they're like, what period is it? So you think they're plotting for February.
And here's
here's
the other end of that. The slapping the teacher, that's a really bad idea right now. Right. Teachers have been through a lot.
Well, some of them
are kind of looking around like, I wish a kid would come and try to slap me.
Right. I kind of want to go back to school just for this month.
I'm subbing.
Just to stand there and be like the ultimate like Goliath that people are like, so you're gonna do it? No,
I'm
not
sorry.
that one.
If I was teaching, man, and some kid walked up to slap me, I don't care who you are, dude. I'm gonna uppercut him like Devo.
Well, you're not obviously supposed to do that, but you can defend yourself.
Exactly.
Sure, but
he slapped me. I have every right to knock him out.
Right. But they said, by giving more attention to the trends, it's encouraging it. Yeah, it is. And people are sharing and you're, oh, look at this, look at that, look at this. It's, again, I just think it's something like the Mayan calendar instance. One person says, hey, I think that the Mayan calendar, the world's going to end. Let's all tell everybody. And then we spread everything about the Mayan calendar. And then everybody starts talking about it. And then the day comes and passes and nothing happens. Yeah. And, and then you go, well, that was a big waste of time. I thought that guy's post, the second that I read it, first off, I was like, none of that stuff is true, because I could tell just by the wording. It was like an adult wrote it, not a child wrote it. A child was said, this is the Pokemon card challenge or whatever, something funny. The kids are hysterical. Older adults, they're not funny as this was very lame. I was like, nah, they would have came up with something a little more creative. The kids are a little more out there. But hopefully the Devious Licks challenge, hopefully that one resulted in some new newly remodeled bathrooms. I'm not gonna lie, there's the bathroom that I used to go in every day was horrible. Doors falling off. Never had soap dispenser, never. It was broke a long time ago, years ago. Only didn't have any paper towels. The hair dryer blew on your hand, like an old man sighing on your hands. And but hopefully that stuff all gets fixed. I don't know.
How about we start a new trend where kids like, hey, it's really cool. I dare you to go to school and get A's. I dare you.
I dare you.
I dare you to go to college and get an education. I bet you can't.
All right. This one, a teacher fundraises for children whose parents died from a stabbing and shooting. It's sad, but a teacher in DeKalb, in Georgia, is raising thousands of dollars for one of her students. Apparently lost both parents in a domestic violence situation. That's terrible.
Both parents.
I know, both parents. And
I already
he's 7 and he's got 2 older sisters, and they lost their mom and their dad. And apparently this teacher took it upon themselves to raise thousands of dollars for the students. And oh no. And it says, I didn't read this part. The mom was pregnant. No, that's not good. So anyways, the initial goal was $1,500. She met that in an hour. And let's see what it's at now, because I hope that this is a good one. I hope this kid raises billions and becomes the next Bruce Wayne. $3,820. That's good. So if you want to look it up, it's tragedy leaves 3 students parentless on GoFundMe. Or you can look up Alexia Grossier, Gossier. Okay. So Alexia, Gosier. And so hopefully, more people donate, but sad story, but kudos to that teacher for stepping up. And then, this is an interesting one. I don't know about this one. This is a hotly debated topic. Actually, I'm not going to get to that one yet. I'll get to the other one first. I know.
I gotta sit through this one. Then
well, this one's a quick, easy one. A mother bear and their cub went to school. A mother bear and a cub went to school. Hold on, let me
Is
pull it
there
up.
Goldilocks and porridge involved?
No, you're gonna love this. I'm gonna share my screen so you can see it. But those of you listening on the podcast, you're gonna think this is hysterical. I'll describe it. Teacher catches a mother bear and a cub going to school, playing on the school playground. So look at this cool little video. You see it? I think the bear's up on the playground equipment and playing underneath the slides and everything. That's so cute. It's so cool. But you see the little cub going up, and I hope they go down the slide.
Please go down the slide.
I didn't see if they go down the slide, but
we got to go down the slide.
Yeah, definitely. So even the mom's gonna go down the big. Oh, that went down the slide. That's cool. So
okay,
cute.
Now baby cub's gonna do the big slide.
Yeah, recess might be canceled for a while, but there's a big black bear and mother and a cub, and they're playing on the slide. Look at mom. See, she's down at the bottom of the slide. She said, "Come on down, son."
Yeah, it's
I
too
got
dangerous.
You.
Yeah,
he was scared. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. It's the warmest thing. They're playing.
And then you go out there and they maul you.
They do. And she's just looking for food. The kid's so happy because he smells appetizers all over those slides. He's like,
right.
Ooh, children, yummy. But no, I thought it was as cute as could be. That was neat.
That would have been a great break from your studies. Like, oh, kids, come here.
I know.
And you're just standing at the window, and the one, I would have been the kid like, all right, man, I got to finish my homework, dude. I didn't, I'd been like, oh, we're in the middle of a test. What's so-and-so got over there?
Yeah. So this one is the last one. And I gotta ask what your opinion on this. A teacher is back working for the school again. I say again because they were fired in 2018. But apparently this year they are doing curriculum work for the school. They've been hired back. This goes to tell you where we are in our teacher shortage.
Yeah,
okay?
I thought once you're fired from teaching, you couldn't really ever teach again.
No, he's working with the science staff. He's been asked to take part in the curriculum development and review.
What was he fired for?
He was fired for shooting his wife in 2018. I wish I was making that up. Yeah, he was put on leave because he shot and killed his wife in 2018. Now he's back in the school. But now apparently it went through the court system and it was ruled apparently an accidental shooting while he was performing maintenance on his gun. I've seen these before. I've maintenance on your gun right in front of the person. I don't know that.
Unless he planned it out, like, well, I'm going to sit at the table, but I'm going to get all my cleaning stuff.
But he received a felony criminal conviction. He was actually ruled guilty for killing his wife, but they said it was an accidental death. But he did receive a felony, and apparently, this is the interesting thing. This is where the gray line lies. The felony conviction apparently has not been fully realized. Like apparently that's in the appeals process, but during that time he can keep working. Like they can't hire him.
Manslaughter. I mean,
the decision is pending, and the decision is pending, and they're reviewing his teaching certificate, but he's still allowed to teach during this time.
In science.
In science, yeah.
Like where you can get magnesium and drop it in water
Yeah.
and it blows up.
His or hide fingerprints on a weapon. I don't know. I mean, like, it's just I wish I was making that up. I am not making that up. A teacher is apparently back in the school system after accidentally shooting and killing his wife, while the sentence is still being figured out, while his teaching certificate is still being reviewed. All this is in limbo.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we still need teachers. How
I hope nobody gets in an argument with him.
Oh,
They're like, hey, Mr. Jones, did you get that that paperwork sent into the office? No,
I was
I'm running
performing
behind
maintenance on the paper cutter.
No, I'm good. Take your time.
I was performing maintenance on the paper cutter, and
hey, bring your hand over here real quick. I need a hand.
That's, by the way, that's the most dangerous item that has ever been allowed in any classroom. When I was a kid, do you realize that paper cutter sat in the back of the room? And I mean, I would go over to it all the time, just as a child, and be like, like playing around with it, like, oh man, this would be, and I would even put like pieces of paper. I should have lost 11 fingers on this thing.
Yeah.
And I would just play with it, and it was at the time, people just didn't think about it.
Now that
we still have
you
one.
used to be able to detach it and take it down to the sharpener.
Yeah. We still have one of those in the high school. I think it's exactly the same one when I was a kid, though, because it's covered in rust. Like, you would literally have to make like a cut, but it would have to be away from the like, if you wanted white paper, you didn't cut it. If you wanted like colored paper, that was the one you cut, because you would get a rust line on the side.
Yeah.
Like, the tetanus was there. It was instant tetanus machine.
Mesothelioma.
Mesothelioma. All right. And don't forget, after this, by the way, I do have a interview with Adam Ferrara that I'm going to be posting on the podcast, the official podcast. I'm going to cut that and put that in with there. If you missed that, it was on Facebook Live. It's also on my YouTube as well. That was I talked to Adam about all sorts of stuff: comedy seller, teaching, and the state of teaching currently, and then about our shows in Michigan. So, if you're in the area, it's going to be really good. Adam's a great guy, very funny comedian. I'm going to be open for him in Michigan too. Now, you got shows coming up in Margaritaville, right?
Yes, I do. On the 8th and the 9th, and at the end of November, I'll be in Winter Park for Bonkers as well.
Nice. With me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the Winter Park Bonkers as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
They just keep pairing us up together.
Well, I'm giving you work. I'm tossing it to you.
Well, it's weird because then I'll get booked for like Margaritaville or whatever, and everybody's like, oh, is Devin coming by? And I'm like, man, we're not connected at the hip. We kick it, but
I gotta get back there. I do love Margaritaville.
Yeah.
And then
see
I've
if
got
Mike Lee
shows.
wants to come.
I've got a lot of shows coming up. DevinComedy.com. And thank you, Mr. Roachclip, for Killip. Sorry, because you spelled it wrong. He said later, boomers. We're boomers. No worries. Anyways, thanks so much for
Gen
people
X,
commenting
sweetheart.
online.
I used to mosh in the Pantera days, so come on now.
Patreon.com/crying in my car for all the bonus stuff, and there's ticket stuff on there too. And I have a new video coming out today. If you're on Patreon, it's already up there. You already watched it. So anyways, thanks again for all the support. Oh, last thing, I got a book coming out, Teacher in the Wild. And it is a children's book. It's amazing. It's really, I mean, I put a lot of work into it, but Izzy B, the illustrator, this guy put just a ton of work into making the pictures beautiful. The production of it, everything is top notch. And so anyways, I'm going to be posting more about that as well. And you should be able to see, but I just want to let everybody know the info on how to pre-order signed copies and all that stuff is coming. It's not expensive. I'm not going for like a big cash grab. I'm just basically covering almost the cost of the book. So I want to get it out to the teachers and give them something cool to read. So to the students and to your kids. But anyways, thanks again. And hopefully you guys have a wonderful work week. And we'll be back next week with more Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers.
America.
Be sure to subscribe and rate this podcast 5 stars. Submit all your awesome teacher stories to cryinginmycar@gmail.com and check out Devin on tour. Info and